So my name's Darren Talbot. I run a company called 2020 Community Cricket in the UK. We are a cricket development company. We are looking to produce cricketers and to support cricketers all around the world. We're running the high performance program for Sierra Leone national teams at the moment. In fact, they're playing in about 1 hour's time out in Nigeria. So that'll be my next job, to go back to the hotel and watch that on video. And we absolutely love coming to countries like this and working with clubs, national teams, junior national teams, just to help develop cricket.
It's your first time with us, so how do you find the level of cricket in Poland?
I think it's very similar to most countries I've been into recently, but what's particularly exciting is the native players. I think the native players are the key to developing cricket in Europe, and what we tend to find across most of the countries is that it's expats that are driving the cricket. And what I love about this club is the fact that the local players are getting more opportunities to play. I think you always have 5 local players in every team. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or was a name. And I think that's important. And I think there should be a lot more going on in cricket in all these countries to try and make sure that true native players. I know there's lots of first generation, second generation people of expats who are playing cricket, but what's exciting is to try and get it as part of the country, kind of part of the blood of the country at schools and things like that. So it's exciting to see local players like yourself playing the game.
How would you encourage these people to play cricket? The Polish people who never saw a game in cricket.
I think that's one of the big challenges. What was interesting last night, we were at a bar and we saw the England-West Indies T20 game in the middle of Warsaw. That's kind of crazy that you can get access to it that way. I've known players before, native players in other countries, who have learned all their cricket from YouTube. So nowadays, with modern technology, it's all very, very accessible, but you have to find the carrot. And the carrot, I think, is to have a national team. And at the moment, because Poland's not in the ICC, which I think is a real pity, that the carrot's not there quite so much. So I think if there's an opportunity there to play for your national team in World Cup qualifiers effectively, I think that's where we need to get to, and that would make a big difference. And then people want to play for the country in whatever it is, whether it's handball or cricket or football or anything like that. You want to have that there. So I think that would make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. What would you tell to them how to start playing cricket like on their own? What they can do to just get known with cricket rules or cricket like exercises?
Well, that's a pretty difficult question to answer. I think cricket in its simplest form is throwing a ball and catching a ball and hitting a ball. So I think the best way to practice it and to get into it is just to grab a tennis ball, any kind of ball, and just get used to hitting it. The hardest thing in cricket is bowling. Bowling is almost like kind of liken it to swimming on land. You have to have your arms and your legs are doing things at the same time. It's really quite difficult, but it's not impossible. The best way to get into cricket is to try and watch a game, and try and watch a game with someone who understands it. I think it would be great if the Hussars had a sort of an open evening or something where local people can come down and watch a live game on the television and talk them through what's happening, explain to them why it's fun.
Mm-hmm. And if we move forward and we are talking to people like they are knowing basics of cricket and they want to get better, like us maybe, in our club. So what are the, maybe 3 advices you would tell them?
Well, practice is the most important thing. Practice. Game experience is what players need most of all. We've done a lot of that this weekend, of sort of performing under pressure. I think I can't think of 3 really. It's practice.
What do you think about the cricket culture outside the England, the cricket culture in Poland, in Romania, and wherever you have been? How is it? Are there any differences?
I don't think there are any noticeable differences. Let's say most countries, the cricket is driven by expats, and I think a lot of it is about who is running the cricket as well in the country. I think it's really important. Development is so key. We need to make sure that numbers are growing, and by the very nature of expats driving the game, in some countries people are only in the country for 1, 2, 3 years, maybe they're coming to university. We found in went to Moldova to set up the Moldovan Cricket Association, and that was made up purely from Indian players who were at university. So I think the key thing is just try and make sure that numbers are growing year on year, and it's not just relying on people coming and going and there's no stability. And again, that brings me back to why native players playing is so important in these countries.
You know that in England we have you have many Poles, and Polish people. Do you think they play cricket in England? They get known in cricket.
I'd be fascinated to know how many Polish people in England are actually getting involved in cricket. We obviously know one of your players is living out there and playing out there. I've never come across anybody that I'm aware of who is out there and playing cricket. But there are so many Polish people in the UK. Sadly, not as many as there were thanks to Brexit. But I think that's another great sort of outreach exercise that you guys could be doing to reach out to Polish communities in the UK, and maybe we'll get them along to a game. I think there's all sorts of things we could do like that, and then absolutely, again, it's all part of the culture. And if they then come back and they've fallen in love with cricket, quite often, I can't remember which country I was in. I was in a country where it had been started up pretty much by someone who went over to the UK for a few weeks, fell in love with cricket somehow. It's quite hard to fall in love with cricket for a lot of people, and they came back to their country and they started up cricket, and that was amazing. Mm-hmm. So the more of that we can encourage, the better. And I suspect no one's doing anything in the UK to encourage Polish people to come to cricket, but we should be doing that.
Yeah, I think so. What are the good examples that you saw in other countries, non-cricket countries, that you can tell us about? I mean, the examples of developing cricket.
I think Germany is the place that springs to mind most of all. Now, Germany are much more developed in their cricket than most of the other European countries, but they've made really good use of the fact that Mrs. Merkel has allowed so many refugees into the country, and the amount of cricketers that have been produced from Afghani refugees and other countries. The German game has taken off amazingly because of the way they've looked after those people. So not only have they ticked a fantastic box for the state by looking after these people and giving them something to enjoy, but they've managed to create a whole development structure that has, I think, probably doubled their game in that period. And I think they're a shining example of what we can do. Every country has got refugees these days, and instead of pushing them away and saying they don't belong, let's help them belong to something. And cricket is a fantastic way of doing that. And the German Cricket Board have been sensational doing that. I admire the work they've done there enormously. It was my biggest achievement.
Yeah, in cricket.
Wow. I think working with national teams is exciting. I worked as head coach of the Iceland national team for 4 years. That was fantastically challenging, bringing lots of different expat communities together. I ran deaf cricket for 8 years in the UK, which I'm enormously proud of. We grew it from 80 players up to over 500 players. I think they're probably the standouts, but there are many others. My journey with Sierra Leone is just starting. I haven't been out to Africa yet. That's going to be exciting as well. So, and in the UK, we're helping state school cricketers play more cricket, which is something we're still very bad at. Everyone holds the UK up as a shining example of cricket development, but we're not there at all. It's very much private school dominated in the UK. So we're working on lots of different projects. For me, anything that makes sense, anything where we're making a difference, that's what we want to get involved in.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Been a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, yeah.